When you're taking a limit as x approaches infinity and the power in the denominator is larger than the power in the numerator, you're going to go to 0. Using this fact, take anything that's polynomial numerator and denominator, divide the top and the bottom by the highest power in the denominator, always the denominator, because you're looking to get a constant in the numerator. Now when I take this limit, anything that has an x in the denominator with a constant in the numerator will go to 0. In this case, I'm left with 2 over 1. All right, so it's all about the powers of x on the top and the bottom. Limit as x goes to infinity. If I have x to the first power on the top and x squared on the denominator, if I multiply the top and the bottom by 1 over x squared, always the highest power in the denominator, and you're always going to distribute. In this particular problem, 3x divided by x squared is going to give me a 3 over x in the numerator, and then a constant in the denominator plus 4 over the x squared. Now when I take this limit, anything that has x in the denominator is going to go to 0, and I'm left with 0 over 1, which equals 0. All of this is based on the fact that the limit as x approaches infinity of 1 over x equals 0. We can also say that the limit as x approaches infinity of 1 over x to any positive power will equal 0. So anytime I have x squared in a denominator, that term will go to 0. Anytime I have x in the denominator, that term goes to 0. And we use the highest power in the denominator specifically to get a fraction that has a constant in the denominator. So even if the top goes to 0, 0 over a constant is 0. Now, we don't always get something that works out this nicely. Sometimes we end up getting 0 over 0, or we don't have polynomial terms and we get infinity over infinity. So let's see what happens when we have a situation like that. Let's consider this limit right here. Now I can do the same thing. The e to the is the base on both the top and the bottom. So if I multiply by 1 over e to the x, top and bottom, notice that I'm multiplying by 1, so I'm not changing the value of anything. I'm just changing the form of it. I get 1 over e to the x here and a 1 on the top and in this spot. Take the limit as x goes to infinity. Well, 1 over e to the infinity is just 0, and I end up with a 1. Now try this one. The ln of x over x. Well, when I plug in an infinity, I'm going to get infinity on the top and infinity on the bottom. If I multiply by 1 over x on the top and the bottom, I end up with the same thing I started with. So this form, this is called indeterminate, because you don't really know if the top and the bottom are both going to infinity. Where is it all going to end up? Is this 1? Is it infinity? Is it 0? We don't know. So we have to do something. And anytime we have infinity over infinity or any other indeterminate form, we can use something called L'Hopital's rule. And what L'Hopital's rule is kind of loosely based on, the idea is that it's not about where you're going or where you're going to end up. It's about how quickly you're getting there. Look at this problem right here. This is a ratio of two separate functions. One of them is growing more slowly than the other. If we're going to infinity, it's going to matter how these relate to each other as far as how quickly they're approaching infinity. So L'Hopital's rule is going to be the only time that you're ever going to take the derivative of the numerator and the derivative of the denominator. We're not finding the derivative of the whole function. we're seeing the rate of change of the top and the rate of change of the bottom as x approaches infinity to find the value of our limit. It's impossible to find it in this form, but if we use L'Hopital's rule and focus on how quickly things are going to infinity, then we can get this limit. So the limit as x approaches infinity of the ln of x over x will be equal to the limit as x approaches infinity of the derivative of the ln of x on the top and the derivative of x on the bottom. Now when I plug in that infinity, I'm going to get 1 over infinity, which is 0, and I have successfully found the limit. Think about what this means. The graph of the ln of x grows a lot more slowly than the graph of y equals x. Therefore, the bottom is growing so much faster than the top that the whole thing is just going to level off. Indeterminate forms can be infinity over infinity, 0 over 0, 0 times infinity. We don't really know where any of these things are going to end up, right? Is 0 over 0, is it 1 because the top and the bottom are the same? We don't know. So let's look at this function. Notice to use L'Hopital's rule, if I had plugged in infinity, I'd get infinity times 0. To use L'Hopital's rule, I need to rewrite this as a ratio. Notice that I'm going to get infinity over infinity, so I can take the limit as, the derivative of the top and the derivative of the bottom, and then take the limit as x goes to infinity again, because I ended up with this indeterminate form. So the derivative of the top is 1, derivative of the bottom is e to the x. This is going to behave like 1 over infinity, which is going to go to 0. Writing your function as a ratio before you is what you have to do before you can use L'Hopital's rule. Sometimes we'll be taking integrals that have infinity as one of the limits. So let's check this out here. In this particular problem, remember that ln is always u. And we notice that the 1 over x dx is our du. So we actually have 1 over the ln of x times the derivative of the ln of x, which is going to be 1 over u du, and that is the perfect derivative of the ln of u. So my answer becomes the ln of the ln of x. Now I want to plug in the limits of integration. The ln of infinity is infinity, and the ln of infinity is infinity. So it doesn't matter what's down here. When I plug in the infinity, I'm going to go to infinity or diverge. Try this one. Now we've already taken that limit. We know that we can take that e and put it in the denominator and make it to the positive x. But when we're integrating, we see we have to use parts. So that we'll do L'Hopital's when we plug in this upper limit after we integrate. So the polynomial part is u. E to the minus x dx is our dv. We take the derivative, we take the integral, and we get u times v minus the integral of v, which is negative. Du is dx. Integrate that piece, and then we'll evaluate. So we get minus x e to the minus x, and this will be another minus sign, e to the minus x, evaluated from 1 to infinity. Now, this piece, when we plug in the infinity, we're going to have to use L'Hopital's rule like we did on the last page. Now, technically, you'll see in your book that when you take a limit as something goes to infinity, replace all the variables with the dummy variable, and then you take that limit, and in this case, we're going to see we get minus infinity over infinity. So we're going to take the limit of the derivative like that, and we're going to end up with this little piece being minus 1 over infinity, which is 0. So you'll see in your book that they always use a dummy, T or A or B, something like that. All right, so let's continue this problem. So we are going to get, in the first place, when we plug in the infinity to this piece, we're going to get 0. Plug in the infinity to this piece, e to the minus infinity will be e to the plus infinity in the denominator. We're going to end up with a 0 minus a 0. Now, we have to be able to plug in the 1 as well. Pay attention. Minus 1, e to the minus 1. I'm just going to write that down. I got e to the minus 1. And then plugging in the 1 into the next piece, minus e to the minus 1. I forgot my minus sign on the first guy. So this ends up being, inside the parentheses, minus 2 of these things. With the negative on the outside, we end up with minus 2 e to the negative 1, which is e on the bottom. Boom. Okay, for this problem, notice please that the powers of e are different. This e to the 2x and e to the x, this is just e to the x squared. So I have 1 plus something squared and the derivative of the something on the top. This is an arctan. A is 1, u is e to the x, the derivative of e to the x is in the top. So I'm going to get arctan of e to the x over 1. And I have to evaluate this from 0 to infinity. Now, the tangent of some angle is supposed to equal e to the x, with that power going from 0 to infinity. So this thing, e to the 0, is 1. So I'm actually looking at the angle that makes the tangent equal 1 and the angle that makes the tangent equal infinity. Okay? So for e to the x, if x goes from 0 to infinity, e to the x, like I said, is going from 1 to infinity. This is where the tangent equals 1. Where does the tangent equal infinity? Well, tangent is sine over cosine, and for that fraction, remember these things oscillate between plus or minus 1. So for this thing to go to infinity, the bottom must go to 0. Where is the cosine equal to 0? At pi over 2. So the top limit is going to go to pi over 2. The bottom limit is where the tangent equals 1, e to the 0, and that will be pi over 4. So there are my two answers when I plug in my two limits. So it's the top guy, pi over 2, minus the bottom guy, pi over 4, and I end up with an just a real number, pi over 4, even though I was taking the limit as x went to infinity. I still end up with a number answer. Pretty cool stuff.